Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
This morning we will pray from Psalms 135. Praise ye the Lord. Praise ye the name of the Lord. Praise him, O ye servant of the Lord. Ye that stand in the house of the Lord, in the courts of the house of our God. Praise the Lord, for the Lord is good. Sing praises unto his name, for he is pleasant. For the Lord had chosen Jacob unto himself, and Israel for his peculiar treasure. For I know that the Lord is great, and that our Lord is above all gods. Whosoever the Lord pleaseth, that did he in heaven and in the earth, in the sea and all deep places. He casteth the vapor to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightning for the rain. He bringeth the wind out of his treasures. Who smoketh the firstborn of Egypt, both man and beast. Who sent token and wonders into the midst of thee, O Egypt, upon Pharaoh and upon all his servants. Who smoketh great nations and slew mighty kings. 7 kings of the Amorites, and Og king of Bashan, and all the kingdoms of Canaan, and gave their land for an inheritance unto Israel his people. Thy name, O God, endureth forever, and thy memorial, O Lord, throughout all generations. For the Lord will judge his people, and he will repent himself concerning his servant. The idols of the heathen are silver and gold, the work of men's hands. They have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes have they, but they see not. They have ears, but they hear not. Neither is there any breath in their mouths. They that make themselves are like unto them, so is everyone that trusteth in them. Bless the Lord, O house of Israel. Bless the Lord, O house of Aaron. Bless the Lord, O house of Levi. Ye that fear the Lord, bless the Lord. Blessed be the Lord of Zion, which dwelleth in Jerusalem. Praise ye the Lord. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us to my community of parity and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good morning and welcome. Is your blood boiling as much as mine? And if your blood isn't boiling, can you tell us why it's not boiling? Or is it that you wouldn't have seen the showdown between Tam Tavares, Finson, and Lambert Brown in our parliament over the last few days? Is your blood boiling?
10 years, you say. 10 long years and look how Jamaica stay. No light, no road, no food, power we plate. People are suffer while Andrew live great. Hey, hey. You stand up on the platform, smile wide and proud. I tell we about prosperity, but we can't see it all now. Hurricane come through and left the people here. 6 months later, them still out there, asleep under the air. Their JLP friends them build high-rise, roads still full of hope. A house pocket to a field, while the nation lose its soul. Hospital overflow, picnic can't get bed. School roof a leak, but you and Juliet well fed. You always have excuse, always pass the blame. Every time something wrong, it never go in your name. Jamaica a drown and you claim you're unclean. Biggest actor in a politics we ever see. Boldness, time to go, time to go. The people, we say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not panny door. Boldness, time to go, time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done really show. Boldness, time to go. Farmer can't afford to plant, food price reach the sky. You bring in the poverty while your own people cry. We born ya, we grow ya, we bleed for this land. But Andrew at the top won't extend the man. You talk about vision, you talk about plan. But 10 years later, we still can't understand. Corruption report land and nobody charge. The people pocket small, but the scandal them large. Roads crack up parish council, bro. Country suffocate, done and it just more. And when we raise the voice, you call we political. But the truth is the truth, and the truth is biblical.
Police, time to go.
Time to go. The people,
Yes and no.
we say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know hear us. We are not on the door.
Police, time to go.
Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. All this our time to go. We know our no hype, we know our no speech. We want action, no, not the lies you preach. Hurricane victims still under tarpaulin. Prime Minister fly gone foreign. Your JLP cabinet full, but the people covered empty. Oh, you live so large when we live in so scanty. Not with fists, not with fire, but with voice them rising higher and higher. From every parish, every yard, every gate, Jamaica speaking, and I'm not too late.
Police, time to go.
Time to go, the people.
Yes and no.
We say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know hear us. We are not by the door.
Police, time to go.
Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Oh yes, our time to go. This one is for every Jamaican. We can't afford feet. We are sleep on cardboard. We are drive on broken road. The people don't forget. The people don't forgive. Enough is enough. Jamaicans will live.
Good morning and welcome to the crime of church and state against the people. That crime that dates back to the inception of slavery, later into colonization, and the continuance of it. Morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us this morning. We'll go into history this morning. We are angry. Nobody's talking about Hurricane Melissa victims, but we see church and state having a grand old time with the money that's been collected on the back of Hurricane Melissa victim. Aren't you angry this morning? Is your blood not boiling? Will the people of Jamaica take a stand on Tuesday? Or will it be the same old, if we're not getting food, we're not coming out? Let us see. Let us wait and see. But as I'm saying, and has always been saying, rescuing Jamaica, it's now or never. This is our last chance to take a stand to rescue our country, now or never. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Empress Deb, how you doing? Morning, Byron. Karen Nemard, Lynette Jenkins, good morning. Vernon Mitchell, good morning. Suzette Williams, Churchill Roberts, good morning. Marcia Thomas, good morning and welcome. Miranda Ruddock, good morning. Karine, good morning, good morning. Monica Taylor, Colin, yes. Donna Thompson, Violet Watson, good morning, good morning. Sheena Kelly, good morning. Like and share the live for us, please, because we are going to go on a rant this morning. We have also written an article which you ought to pay very close attention to this morning. Elaine Turner, good morning and welcome. If you miss a single word in this article this morning, it will be down to you. It is, and we're going to post it over Facebook when we're done as well. But it is important, Christopher Stevens. It is important that every word of this article this morning you pay attention to. Why? Because nothing literally has changed. And if Hurricane Melissa is not showing you, after you listen to the article, that nothing has changed, then you need a rewiring of your psychology. Bob Marley told us, I feel like burning a church. Now I know that the preacher is lying. All of us should feel exactly like that. We should burn church and state because the crimes that those sets, those two, have carried out against the people of Jamaica and continue to carry out, the only way we're going to get rid of them is burning church and state, like literally, just like that, and start all over again. Evan Miller, how you do? Morning, welcome. So we're going to kick off with our article this morning to set the stage because we have quite a few things to hinge and pinch on this morning. And we're going to look at Deanne Jackson Miller, bits and pieces that she has drawn out of the whole TNC debacle between the country and Chang. And I'm going to address the phrase I hear her muttering and mumbling. Why can't we just say the words as dictionary defines them? It has always been my problem in the corporate world where we speak to suit people's ego rather, we speak in a way to suit people's ego rather than speaking in the actual truth so people can understand exactly what we are saying and what we mean. And I think when we use word to caress people's ego, we mislead the public as to what we are actually saying. Dean Jackson Miller. So where you are going to rustle tussle this morning, Pandy Deportee Galangin, because some word where you use are misleading. And we must not mislead the public when we speak. We must use dictionary defined words that the people understand. Errol Reed, morning and welcome. Like and share the live for us because we're on the war path this morning. We don't know if we're going to come just and ready for war. We don't know if we don't come just and ready for war this man, but at that we out here for, and we're going to clobber Tom Tavares, murderous, bloody hand, dry blood, pan him hand, Simpson. the tears of your grandson, Tom Tavares Finson. We're going to clobber him this morning. But we're going to go to our article first. Crimes against humanity. The bond between the church and state. The unbroken bond, one must argue. The unbroken bond between church and state. In middle, you have the son of Hitler. To your right is the head of the Seventh-day Union of Conferences, V. Glenn Samuels, baptized at midnight after walk and breed people picnic. Next to Glenn Samuels in her purple Babylonian dress is the what's you gonna call it? Is the Archbishop of the head of the Anglican Church, no, the head of the Catholic Church, Kenneth Richards, the thief, the coxman of the clergy. Then next to the son of Hitler, you have the Archbishop of the Anglican Church of Jamaica and Cayman, can't remember the sinner name. And then next to him, you have the head of the Baptist Union. We're all going guns blazing this morning. Put your coat on. Come dressed and ready for war this morning. Andrew Joan Hamilton Wilson, Elga Fletcher, Blessed Woman. Firecat, good morning. Gloria Morris, good morning. Christopher Stevens, good morning. Gloria Morris, thank you very much for your generous donation. Thank you very much. Really appreciate your constant support. Good morning, all, and welcome. Abina Sarkodi, good morning and welcome. Like and share the live, please, because we're on the war part this morning. If you not come just and ready for war this morning, I beg you clear the path, because we're going to cut and go through this morning. We're going to run through them like mongoose are run through wildfire, run through morass this morning. The unbroken bond between church and state. You must listen to every word of this article. Nothing literally has changed. And if you are not aware that nothing has not changed, put the information in the article together with what is happening with Hurricane Melissa's victim. We are angry. You all should be angry. I am super angry with the churches. Who is wickeder? I asked the question on Facebook this morning. Who is wickeder, the state or the church? Based on what the church say they stand for, don't you think they're wickeder than the state? Because it is the church that should nudge the state in the direction to do better, to do right by the victims of Melissa. But as they've done from slavery to now, they've shared the scarce benefit and spoils between both of them. Let's go to the article. Me feels that the church wicked, Adana. We know the government designed to be wicked, but psychologically we're taught. Psychologically, we're taught that the church is a force for good. Are they a force for good based on what we've seen them done in Hurricane Melissa? Based on how we've seen them go in our pocket day and night, 3 times a day, 4 times a week? We would even talk about the overworking one, them like Delpha Davis, Rydell Rowe, Peter Chambers, and a whole host of overworking mother effers this morning. Audrey Robinson. Good morning and welcome. Please listen to this article. It's very important that you listen to the article word for word. And I might have to play it twice this morning. I know this is an area where people tender ego, people soft skin ego might get bruised, because this is state which consists of the two political parties, JLP and PNP, so una go bruise. And this is a church, your favorite denomination, your sanctimonious pastors, priests, prophetess, ministers, man of God, and all sorts of things, but you never call them the pedophiles and thieves and murderers that they are. Calm yourself down. Calm yourself down and go to the article, because there's quite a bit of mouthful in it that you, the listening audience, must listen to this morning. Nothing has changed. The church is a criminal organization. That is what I want you to walk away from this morning. This is what I want you to walk away from here with this morning after you listen to the article. After you listen to the article, look back at the years you have been in the church, or the years you have seen the church operating amongst us. You must go away this morning, see the church as the criminal that we see Andrew Holness' regime as. They are no different. They have always been working together against humanity for the demise and the downfall of humanity. Nothing has changed.
The Entangled Legacy: How Church and State Forged a Bond Through Slavery and Colonization. Across the span of several centuries, the historical alliance between religious institutions and governing powers emerged as one of the most consequential partnerships in the shaping of the modern world, a bond deeply embedded in the rise and expansion of transatlantic slavery and global colonial rule. Beginning in the late medieval era and accelerating through the age of exploration, European states set their sights on territorial expansion and resource extraction, yet recognized that raw military force alone could not sustain control over vast new lands and populations. To legitimize their enterprises, rulers turned to organized religion, particularly major Christian denominations, to provide what political authority could not: a moral and ideological framework that cast conquest and forced labor as part of a higher purpose. Official church teachings and papal decrees were gradually reworked to frame colonial expansion as a civilizing mission, and enslavement as a divinely ordained social arrangement, effectively merging spiritual authority with state power. In this unified structure, the state secured religious validation for its economic and territorial ambitions, while the church gained access to new territories, converts, and significant material wealth, creating a symbiotic system where each institution reinforced the other's authority and reach. This ideological partnership quickly translated into tangible institutional collaboration that permeated law, economy, and daily life across colonial territories and slaveholding nations. State laws, royal charters, and colonial administrations systematically granted churches large tracts of land, tax exemptions, and formal influence over education, record-keeping, and local governance. In return, church leaders and institutions actively participated in the functioning of the systems themselves. Many religious orders and congregations directly owned enslaved people, operated plantations and mines, and profited from trade routes established under colonial rule. Clergy often helped administer enslaved communities, regulating their movement, labor, and religious instruction in ways that aligned with state interests, while theological arguments were used to defend legal codes that treated enslaved people as property rather than persons. By framing slavery and colonization not merely as political or economic decisions, but as consistent with divine will, the alliance constructed a powerful barrier against resistance, making opposition to these systems appear as both a violation of civil law and an act against religious doctrine. As historical research deepened through the 19th, 20th, and into the 21st centuries, The full scope of this shared history has come under rigorous examination, revealing how the union of church and state helped entrench racial hierarchies and structural inequalities that remain visible today. While it is also true that later movements within both spheres produced leaders and communities that advocated for abolition and independence, with some religious groups becoming vocal opponents of slavery and colonial exploitation, the historical record makes clear that the foundational bond between these institutions operated for centuries to sustain and extend systems of exploitation. Contemporary scholarship and official inquiries from governments and church bodies alike now trace how the wealth, landholdings, and social authority built during this era continue to shape present-day disparities in wealth, power, and access to justice. This legacy has prompted global conversations about accountability, historical memory, and institutional responsibility, acknowledging how spiritual and political power once combined to transform the world, while also confronting the long-lasting consequences of their actions for generations across every inhabited continent. Continuing the story, evidence, debate, and modern reckoning. Archival records across Europe, Africa, the Americas, and the Caribbean document the precise nature of this cooperation. In Spain and Portugal, papal bulls such as Interquetra provided the earliest religious backing for dividing newly discovered lands between the two crowns, with the expectation that the church would oversee conversion and social order. In Britain, France, and the Netherlands, colonial charters routinely recognized the role of established churches in maintaining stability, while financial ledgers show dioceses and missionary societies receiving revenue directly from slave-produced goods including sugar, cotton, tobacco, and indigo. Enslaved people were baptized and taught simplified doctrines that emphasized obedience to earthly masters, creating a form of religious instruction designed to reinforce the existing order rather than challenge it. Even as some theologians began to question these practices in the 18th century, the institutional ties remained strong. Many church leaders feared that challenging slavery would undermine the legal and social framework that supported their own standing and property. The end of formal slavery and the collapse of colonial empires did not erase this historical connection. Instead, the hierarchies and economic structures built through that era often adapted and persisted. Today, historians, activists, and leaders from both religious and political backgrounds continue to examine how the once close operational links between church and state left a lasting imprint on laws, education systems, and social attitudes. Some churches have issued formal apologies and established reparatory funds, while governments have undertaken historical truth commissions to document the roots of ongoing inequality. These efforts are not just about revisiting the past, they are about understanding how two powerful institutions once joined forces to reshape global history, and how recognizing that bond is an essential step toward addressing its unresolved consequences in the world as it stands today.
You did not hear a word because you're looking after your breakfast, you're getting ready for church, you're cooking dinner, some of you. You didn't hear a word that was said in this article. Not one single word. And if you heard, did you understood? And are you going to continue to see the churches in the same light as you have relished them? Do you understand when we say tithe and offering is a man-made tax? We never hear not a word how state and church came together to keep us in slavery, to own our land, how the church took its role in converting us from our African spirituality into this bastardized religious organization, how they hold us into contempt, Pamela Akola, how they took pay through money and land, how they miseducate us, not educate us, miseducate us, how the church brainwash us to prevent us to rebel against a state that was murdering us and exploiting. You never hear a word. No, you never hear a word. Because you would have walked with them ticker matches when you got to church if you did hear. Man, you don't think that because I'm going to church. No, I don't go to a religious church. The church I go to is spiritual, very spiritual. Very spiritual. Somehow, the truth be told, if someone no come there, we're not going to say, Obia church, we ain't go. We're not religious, we're spiritual, which is quite different from organized religion. You haven't heard a word, not a single word of the crime the church has done. Because a lot of us who go to church, Opal Watson, how you doing? Morning, welcome. A lot of people who goes to church is because we are indoctrinated throughout history. Is what has been handed down to us. Some of it thinks it's really from God. And all these doctrines that have been enforced upon us. If you have, especially the King James Version Bible, and you turn to the first or second page of it, it will tell you that it was written for the grace and mercy of the people of England, Scotland, and Wales. The King James Version. Note the version, the King James Version. King James. King James. Not Jesus's version. Not anybody else. King James Version. The King of England and Scotland. Yeah. The church took on a role from the state in order to keep us calm, preventing us from rebelling, changing our language. It was the church, And this is why you see reparations, we're going about it wrong. The church have a lot to do with how we were fucked up, how we were miseducated, how we were brainwashed, how we were taught to see whiteness as right, how we were taught to see blackness as demonic and devilish. It wasn't the state that was responsible for that teaching, mind you. That was the church. It was the church that told us to obey our slave masters. It was the church who told us to watch and pray. It was the church who told us hope for something else that does not exist. It's the church who told us after we did work on the plantation and really never get nothing. It's the church who told us you have to pay us something out of it. It's the church who changed our names, our culture, and our language. It wasn't the state. The state gave that job to the church, and in turn gave lands to the church, gave the right to the church for record keeping. The church is guilty of a whole lot, Jesus Christ, if you don't ever research the things that the church is guilty of, you would travel to church with a can of petrol and box of matches. Like literally just like that. The church was the one who taught classism, colorism. It wasn't the state. The state was busy carrying out its job of killing us and exploiting us to build their economic whatever you want to call it. But to keep us calm, to take God out of us that we came from Africa with, and put in a Western God, a white Michelangelo God in us. And a Jesus that never saw Europe or never came from Europe or never have anything to do with Europe. But all of a sudden, Jesus is white. That was all the church. How then do we go after the state only when it comes to reparation? Remember when I spoke to you the other morning about reparation? I said the bigger part of reparation is psychology. Psychology, the repairing of what was done to our minds. The first place education was introduced to us in the West is through the churches. They were the ones who convert us and give us these Christian names. You have not heard a word the article said. Not a single word. Because if you heard, I got especially one of these church, except for Baptists. And this is why you see Reverend Jonathan Hemmings is so rebellious. He was Baptist. He's Baptist. The Baptist church have a history of fighting against slavery. It is what the Seventh-day Adventists, because I try to teach them all well, but because they don't research, it was what Seventh-day Adventist was born out of the Baptist Union. The Baptist Union was very rebellious. Whatever it is that Ellen G. White and her husband and their friend William did not agree with in the Baptist Union and step away to create the Seventh-day Adventist Union. Ellen G. White, in her writings and her lies of prophecy, did not explain any of that. She pulled that wool over people's eyes and she prophesied this and said, Ellen G. White was just another religious prostitute. As any of these today that we see call themselves apostle, lady of God, woman of God, man of God, it's all prostitution. Why you think the church can't call out Andrew or call out corruption in general? Because they share a common bond. That common bond involves the crime against humanity, slavery and colonization. The worst crime to ever committed against humanity, the church had the most major role in. The fucking up of our thinking, to allow us to bleach our skin, to allow us to run hot iron through air, our chemicals, to take away our confidence and tell us that we are devils. The church, it's not the state. Because it is why the church bringing the state, because the church, the state was using weaponry, physical weaponry against us, conventional weaponry against us. The church came in with psychological armory and thereby quelled us to what you see we are today, where we can't even fucking stand up to anything. Because we are hoping for God and we are too religious and too reverent. So we have to do it in a respectable way, in a godly way, in an acceptable way to whom one might ask. If you knew what the church have done to us, if you are aware of what the church have done to us, oh dear. I don't listen to these people when they talk about reparatory justice. Because you see, the first part of reparatory justice is truth. The first arm of reparatory justice and wholeness, Mia Matley, Professor Hilary Beckles, is truth. You cannot have reparatory justice unless it starts with truth and reconciliation. Reparatory justice is a lie unless it starts with the truth. Because for 500-600 years, all that has been told to us, all that has been taught to us is a lie. Reparatory justice means nothing if it doesn't start with the truth. If the churches doesn't stand up, hold their hands up on their part and pay back the people, give back the people their land, give back the people their stolen wealth, put the records you have in hidden in public. Reparatory justice means no. We could talk until the cows come home. It's just a talking shop. Literally, just like that. And all these leaders, black leaders in Africa and the Caribbean, they are lobbying to get more money to enrich themselves more. It's nothing that will be. You haven't heard a word the article said. Not a single word. Let us reread it again. Can I never hear? So now that me go on a rant, then you need to listen carefully again. More particularly to the role that the church played, that organized Christian religion played in the demise of the continent of Africa and its people, in the transatlantic enslavement of Africa and its people, in the property and chattel ownership of Africa and its people, in the changing of our culture names God, and the miseducation and the psychological crimes. You must pay attention to what the church has done to us and continue to do to us. Organized religion is a lie, has always been and will always be. God, no matter who they tell you, say, I come and all them are go burn and destroy we, a nuclear weapon are go destroy this place. Anytime you hear the whole of them kick off. Their doomsday, their Armageddon is a man-made thing. What we must get up and do is come back to ourselves. When we come back to our senses, when we see God in us, when we see ourselves as gods, as creators that we are, this world will shift and it will change in ways you never imagined. If our psychology shifts and changes, this world will shift. Why not then keep us in continuous contempt? Whether be it's religion, education, the media, entertainment, whatever they keep, they use to distract us. The day we all come to the consciousness that we are God and there's no God otherwhere than the one we are and within us, this world will change in ways you would never imagine overnight. This is why they will never allow us to think in the way that we ought to and should be. This is why they continuously have us distracted, because the day we all start thinking in a similar way or in oneness, they will fall apart like you see dry leaf fall from a tree. Trust me. There's a reason why the churches continue. Hold on, let's read the article again.
The Entangled Legacy: How Church and State Forged a Bond Through Slavery and Colonization. Across the span of several centuries, the historical alliance between religious institutions and governing powers emerged as one of the most consequential partnerships in the shaping of the modern world, a bond deeply embedded in the rise and expansion of transatlantic slavery and global colonial rule. Beginning in the late medieval era and accelerating through the age of exploration, European states set their sights on territorial expansion and resource extraction, yet recognized that raw military force alone could not sustain control over vast new lands and populations. To legitimize their enterprises, rulers turned to organized religion, particularly major Christian denominations, to provide what political authority could not: a moral and ideological framework that cast conquest and forced labor as part of a higher purpose. Official church teachings and papal decrees were gradually reworked to frame colonial expansion as a civilizing mission, and enslavement as a divinely ordained social arrangement, effectively merging spiritual authority with state power. In this unified structure, the state secured religious validation for its economic and territorial ambitions, while the church gained access to new territories, converts, and significant material wealth, creating a symbiotic system where each institution reinforced the other's authority and reach. This ideological partnership quickly translated into tangible institutional collaboration that permeated law, economy, and daily life across colonial territories and slaveholding nations. State laws, royal charters, and colonial administrations systematically granted churches large tracts of land, tax exemptions, and formal influence over education, record-keeping, and local governance. In return, church leaders and institutions actively participated in the functioning of the systems themselves. Many religious orders and congregations directly owned enslaved people, operated plantations and mines, and profited from trade routes established under colonial rule. Clergy often helped administer enslaved communities, regulating their movement, labor, and religious instruction in ways that aligned with state interests, while theological arguments were used to defend legal codes that treated enslaved people as property rather than persons. By framing slavery and colonization not merely as political or economic decisions, but as consistent with divine will, the alliance constructed a powerful barrier against resistance, making opposition to these systems appear as both a violation of civil law and an act against religious doctrine. As historical research deepened through the 19th, 20th, and into the 21st centuries, the full scope of this shared history has come under rigorous examination, revealing how the union of church and state helped entrench racial hierarchies and structural inequalities that remain visible today. While it is also true that later movements within both spheres produced leaders and communities that advocated for abolition and independence, with some religious groups becoming vocal opponents of slavery and colonial exploitation, the historical record makes clear that the foundational bond between these institutions operated for centuries to sustain and extend systems of exploitation. Contemporary scholarship and official inquiries from governments and church bodies alike now trace how the wealth, landholdings, and social authority built during this era continue to shape present-day disparities in wealth, power, and access to justice. This legacy has prompted global conversations about accountability, historical memory, and institutional responsibility, acknowledging how spiritual and political power once combined to transform the world, while also confronting the long-lasting consequences of their actions for generations across every inhabited continent. Continuing the story: evidence, debate, and modern reckoning. Archival records across Europe, Africa, the Americas, and the Caribbean document the precise nature of this cooperation. In Spain and Portugal, papal bulls such as Inter Cetra provided the earliest religious backing for dividing newly discovered lands between the two crowns, with the expectation that the church would oversee conversion and social order. In Britain, France, and the Netherlands, Colonial charters routinely recognized the role of established churches in maintaining stability, while financial ledgers show dioceses and missionary societies receiving revenue directly from slave-produced goods including sugar, cotton, tobacco, and indigo. Enslaved people were baptized and taught simplified doctrines that emphasized obedience to earthly masters, creating a form of religious instruction designed to reinforce the existing order rather than challenge it. Even as some theologians began to question these practices in the 18th century, the institutional ties remained strong. Many church leaders feared that challenging slavery would undermine the legal and social framework that supported their own standing and property. The end of formal slavery and the collapse of colonial empires did not erase this historical connection. Instead, the hierarchies and economic structures built through that era often adapted and persisted. Today, historians, activists, and leaders from both religious and political backgrounds continue to examine how the once close operational links between church and state left a lasting imprint on laws, education systems, and social attitudes. Some churches have issued formal apologies and established reparatory funds, while governments have undertaken historical truth commissions to document the roots of ongoing inequality. These efforts are not just about revisiting the past, they are about understanding how two powerful institutions once joined forces to reshape global history, and how recognizing that bond is an essential step toward addressing its unresolved consequences in the world as it stands today.
We will never be able to move forward until the churches come clean, until the churches are being dismantled. It is not government that hold us in psychological contempt. It is not government. It is not governments that are holding us in psychological contempt. It is the churches. The churches must come clean and speak the truth of the role they play. The churches as an organization must be dismantled. The churches must pay back the stolen money to the people they continue to collect and have heavy bank balance. The churches must give back the land to the people. The churches must expose the records they are holding. We will not be able to move forward without the truth. Members of the high-level Global Advisory Council on Reparatory Justice, Mayor Amon Mockley, Andrew Michael Holness, and Hilary Beckles, Professor. Yeah. All they care about is money. Because reparation, them not talk about truth, you know. They're not talking about reconciliation. They're not talking about ending the oppression of the people. They are talking about more money. More money for the thieves to continue to enrich themselves. We see some Miyamoto just came back from a high-level conference in Ghana the other day because the Ghanaian president is doing a lot of work in regards to the reparatory justice area, but they're going about it wrong. Give money to mad people is no benefit at all. It will be waste and squandered and not go to no good use. Reparatory justice starts with the truth. Reparatory justice starts with the truth. The church must confess of their sins. The church must confess their crimes against humanity. It's not the state. The church has done us worse than the state has. Because you see, if I did for the state alone, we wouldn't break down that already. We wouldn't break down that already. Because a lot of us see what the state is about. But because of the fear of God, because the reverence to the teachings, even when we see the truth, because of the fear of God, we allow the truth to be buried. And this is why you see these pastors and church people can just lead you astray just like that. Lawrence Michaels, Elder Fletcher, just lead you blindly. All because of a fear of God. Me not a fear of God. Not in how religion teaches us. We need to wake up. But the church have a duty. The church who put us to sleep. The church who put us to sleep have a duty. This is what I tell you, say, the whole of these people locally and internationally working together. Now, when everybody look at Andrew public track record, why would you want to put Andrew in anything international, anything of integrity where you are planning to do? We never. Why would I want to get Andrew involved in a hit? Huh? Jamrock, how you do? Ladybug, welcome. If them a cuss me right now, Jamrock, if them a cuss me right now, you know, so when you bruise their ego, when you come to politics and religion, they are wind up. Rasta and Henry, how you do? You know when you bruise, then thin ego, when it comes to politics and religion, the two major cult organization, Marlene Williams, the two biggest cult organization in this world, politics and religion. The church who put us to sleep, so politicians can walk upon us, needs to come clean. The churches need to come down, as they would say on social media. The churches need to be dismantled. If you don't understand what Bob Marley was saying when he's
The Entangled Legacy.
born in a church, now I know that the preacher is lying. It's the mindset that all of us need to be in. We need to dismantle church. If we don't dismantle the churches, we're not going to be free. Reparations don't mean nothing if we're still sleeping dead, if we're spiritually dead, if we continue to aspire to be white, if we continue to aspire to the straight hair, if we continue to see blackness as devil and demonic, no amount of money they ain't giving no make no use. It a go done and we not do nothing with them, we go back in the same galangin. What needs to happen is the truth needs to come out. The churches need to admit, and not only admit to their criminal role in slavery, stop committing the current crime against the people. Pay back the people what you continue to steal from them every Saturday and Sunday. Explain to the people, say this whole thing about Jesus and is nonsense, not no gossip. It was a lie. A something they make up to keep we in contempt. For the slave master have his ways with us. Raymond, how you do? These people are all working against us. When you not go see, why you don't think the church them sit down quietly and collect Melissa money, and the victim of Melissa still a rolling a dot, and they are opening up back application for the church them can't get more money while Melissa victims still under tarpaulin. Make it make sense. Who wickeder? Is it the church or the state? Help me out, oh. Who wickeder? Is it the church or the state? Well, the church should the church should call out the state to do right by the people. And the state, the church just sit down a grab and a grab some. Have you got no shame, no humanity, or no conscience? I mean, if you don't get up and collect offering 3 times on Saturday, 3 times on Sunday, Wednesday night, Sunday night, I mean, I want to still beg with for special reasons for the church as well. Have you all no shame? I mean, if God was real, don't you think God would have struck them? If the way they teach God to us, other than the gods that we are, don't you think God would have struck them already? We need to burn down these things and start afresh. The church is holding us back. The church is holding back our development. It is holding back our elevation or psychological renewal. The church is holding us back. The fear of God, the lie they told us about the fear of God. We are the God that we should be serving. Of course, recognize a higher creative power, but not Michelangelo. No, not Michelangelo and him uncle and them friend them. If we don't get out of this madness of organized religion, all we are going to do is perish. Oh, who we go to next? What a pain this morning. We're going to go to agriculture. Let's segue to agriculture for a bit. What a disgrace. Let us segue to agriculture. Flight Green. Best, whatever they call him. Flight Green and the Jamaica Labour Party have destroyed agriculture.
Morgan.
Farmers, left, right, and center, up and down Jamaica, is suffering because this government and Floyd Green have destroyed agriculture. We farmer them not know if we sell them crop to again. We farmer them not have no way to sell them crop to again. Let us listen to some farmers in Manchester and what is happening to their crops. Gum shop, how you do? When you're not angry? Does these things not make you all angry? When you see every day the state a break down everything around with, and rather than the church come out and take a stand, the church is there collecting money to keep quiet, and you're not angry? You docile church members, you high heel, pretty feather wearing hat, fashion expo Christians, what the fuck is wrong with you all? When are we going to wake up? Let's listen how agriculture is destroyed. James Robertson, criminal James Robertson with the whole heap of life where you take.
Morgan. And this is my father, Mr. Morgan, as well. Here with Mr. Bunting, we're just leaving from the pump house down there. We had a meeting with our group and a group of farmers from the New Forest Agro Park. And what we're talking about and here to talk about is an issue we all are facing in this magnificent community where we produce scallion. This scallion, what we have here, produced, we have.
KFC is just a modern part of the control, Sean. It will go on from religion right up. Then just keep adding more and more to it. KFC is just one limbo group on the tree of mental, psychological warfare.
We've been producing it over years now, for generations, and I could consider it a way of life. I could consider it a practice of ours for years now. So as I mentioned, if you eat jerk chicken and so forth, this is one of the main ingredients in the jerk chicken where we give it flavor and taste. And if you can look and see the glut we are all facing here with our fields being abandoned basically because there isn't any market to take the produce, we have heard. And we have gotten promises from many different, I don't even know if they mention them as, because I'm so disappointed in it right now. If you know, say, so many of us invested hard-earned cash into this to make a return, and we are basically abandoned. And if you can look, there's multiple fields around us here. This is where we're standing in front of a specific field, a mine, one of 5. And if we had the time and you could view, I can show you many more that has already spoiled. And anybody who had done agriculture in high school and went to university can understand when a crop or a plant reaches the point of diminishing return, it doesn't make any sense to harvest. And majority of our crops have already reached to maturity, and it's next to diminishing return in a few coming weeks. So,
and you're talking about hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Hundreds of thousands of pounds are produced that has already spoiled and is going to spoil.
And what response have you got from the Ministry of Agriculture?
We haven't gotten any response, and we haven't seen anybody in any way, shape, or form. The only person we have seen so far is you and our councillor, Sarah Robinson.
And I should mention that I reached out to the CEO of Grace Kennedy Group, and they used to buy scallion on contract up to the end of last year.
Yes.
They're saying they have no capacity to buy anymore. They have reached their capacity. So one of the major companies that used to take scallion, some of the scallion off of the farmers has stopped, and that has even made the matters worse.
Yes, that has put a large dent in the market, because if you think about the few hotel chains that we have and Coronation Market and the market in Montego Bay, those markets alone can't take our produce. Good evening. Name?
Boy, may I tell you, it's rough. Jamaica destroyed, you know. You see how long we sit down and never pay attention and make the country fail and fall. Make Labour and PNP take the country and destroy it, especially Andrew Holness regime. Because we think it was only about the motorcade and the campaign from nomination day to election day. And this is what I'm saying to Jamaicans. Participation, participatory democracy is not just about voting. It's not just about gyrating for 2 weeks until you sell yourself. It's every day you get up, you participate in a war going in your country. Because when we elect them and keep on re-electing them, especially the ones who have done nothing, how can we blame them without blaming ourselves? No, just help me to understand. How can we blame them without blaming ourselves? And see the last part of democracy, where we send people to speak for us freely and unchecked, then we are being told now that you must abide by Tam Tavares and Juliet Holness rules. Short of that, we don't have a voice in Jamaica. Only if you follow Tam Tavares and Juliet Holness's rules, Jamaica people.
President of the Senate, Tom Tavares Finson, and senior opposition lawmaker, Senator Lambert Brown, clashed in the upper house today. The opposition senator used his presentation Friday to blast the government for the third country national agreement with the U.S., but his statement was curtailed as he was deemed to be breaching the standing orders. Dwayne Anderson reports.
The third country national program has been on the lips of many Jamaicans for the last week. Most are in fierce opposition to the MOU with the USA to accept the deportees. Senior opposition Senator Lambert Brown continued the pushback on Friday and launched a strident rebuke of the government.
I choose Jamaica. For you, choose Jamaica is a slogan. For you, choosing Jamaica is a slogan. For me, it's reality. I raise the issue. Why are you bringing to Jamaica the most despicable, pedophiles, and dangerous people that
Senator
your MOU has brought?
President of the Senate, Tom Tavares Finson, intervened.
Senator Brown, I have to turn off your mic. You heard what you said? Why is the government of Jamaica choosing to bring Rubio's pedophile and despicable people?
White man, man without color, it's exactly what Rubio said. I don't know why we don't walk with a hot water thermos when we go parliament as PNP. So we can throw after these people some hot water with sugar in there. Because he's stating on record that this is the PNP's narrative. He's stating on record, this is the position of the PNP. Isn't it what Marco Rubio says? No, we need to work with hot water, hot sugar and water. Because when we burn these people, we must make sure it stick upon them and burn them hotter.
That is the position of the People's National Party?
No.
That is the position of
Trump's and Marco Rubio's position. We are fully aware where Juliet Holness, Dr. Dagpa, we're fully aware, Tam Tavares Finson, of the blood on your hands. But what you can do, man without color, the Satan, Only white people were created as Satan. We must start the truth. White people are Satan. And wherever they are and wherever we see them descendant, we must shout, Satan. These people fuck the world up. And these people continue to fuck the world up, but more so our country. This white Jamaica Labour Party, from Buster to White Andrew, has always been destructive in our country. Always. It's Marco Rubio's and Donald Trump's position.
the People's National Party? Well, if that is the position, I want you to state on the record that that is the position of the People's National Party, that the Jamaica Labour Party government is bowing to Rubio to bring pedophiles and criminals to Jamaica.
What the fuck do you think it is, you illiterated scumbag, you bloody pedophile and murderer? What do you think it is? if it's not bowing to Marco Rubio's pressure. But should we argue with them? I really don't think so.
Let the record show that that is the position of the People's National Party. Please have your seat.
For about
Can he be so fucking stupid? I beg your pardon this morning because I'm angry. Can one person be so fucking stupid? No, sir. Me know stupid people, but me never know so much about.
3 minutes, the senator continued to speak about the issue despite his microphone being turned off. Eventually, the microphone was turned on to get the comments on the record.
Look here, man, don't start me today at all. Senator Gale.
So what you gonna do? You gonna line up gunman to shoot you like what you did with your grandson's father? Is that what you're going to do in Tam Tavares, Vincent? Or are you going to get your gunmen out to come and shoot at us? Or to shoot at Lambert Brown? Was that a threat, Tam Tavares, Vincent? Because if you threaten Lambert Brown, you threaten we as well, you know. Because he's speaking for us. So if it is, Tam Tavares, Vincent, that you're threatening Lambert Brown to get your gunman them to come around way up, you're threatening the entire nation. You're threatening the majority of us that is against this thing. The crimes.
Me? Alright, so repeat it. Let me turn on your mic.
That's what I want to do.
Repeat it.
I am saying here.
Repeat it.
That in choosing to bring the TCN,
yes,
you are choosing what Rubio said. Despicable pedophiles would want to get away from America.
All right, okay.
And
that is the position of the People's National Party.
The Senate's president then decided the opposition lawmaker would speak no further as he was in breach of the standing orders.
Only pedophiles like Tam Tavares, Vincent, and many of them in the Jamaica Labour Party would have taken this narrative that we saw coming from Tam Tavares, Vincent. Only a pedophile or a protector of a pedophiles would want to take more pedophile than the tantamount of pedophile what we already have in Jamaica. Huh? Plus murderers, which Tam Tavares Fence knows a lot about. Huh?
You finish? You finish? I am. Yes, I'm telling you that you finish. I am. No, I'm not preventing you to speak on the bill. You are speaking on the bill, and you go a point where you're talking about Senator Rubio and all manners of extraneous things. So therefore, I'm saying no.
What the fuck is extraneous about repeating what Marco Rubio said, you thick fucker? You know, white people dumb, you know? Dumb, very dumb. And not just dumb, criminal and crooked. You know, white people in Jamaica. But anyone today in the world are dumb, criminal and crooked. Anyway, it's the trait that you're created with.
No problem. Senator Sinclair.
Several minutes after that clash, Senator Brown continued to demand his position be heard, prompting further appeals from his colleagues for him to calm down. Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.
Oh, God. Can it get any fucking worse? Do you think... Now, we're going to segue to Dean Jackson Miller on the TCN Galangen. And we're going to clobber Dean Jackson Miller for word and phrase. Because Dean Jackson Miller is playing up to these people. What is the phrase demonstrable not so, Dean Jackson Miller? Could you explain it for us? What does demonstrably not so mean? What is the definition of demonstrably not so? Isn't it the right phrase or the right explanation is demonstrably lie? Well, the good thing is with Dean Jackson Miller, she picked out some really fucked up part. And when I say fucked up, I mean in the sense where Emily Shields was saying to Dr. Chang, I don't understand what you was saying, and I don't think you understand what you was saying either. Let's listen to Diane Jackson Miller pick out. I think she picked out some good part, but when Diane Jackson Miller refused to say Dr. Chang is a demonstrable liar, rather switching the phrase to demonstrably not so. Oh, no, stop it. Stop it. Stop misleading people when they talk. There's nothing as demonstrably not so. Demonstrable lie. All right, Miss Miller? If you talk how the things them go and talk to work and make up new things to suit people's ego, and then not do it.
An agreement to transition to Jamaica, some third country nationals from the United States.
To come to the press conference and act like Gleaner just make up this figure of 10,000 out of thin air, that was poor. Okay.
And no such communication or information has gone through.
And a poor Diane, unprofessional and lie. Not poor, unprofessional and lie. Jesus Christ, can these people just speak so we understand what they mean?
Big questions about the third country nationals program between Jamaica and the United States, and days after statements and more statements, the Prime Minister saying members of the public expressing concern about the program are being almost ridiculous. You still have questions? Because I still have questions. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Thank you so much for joining me. Time for tea. I'm going to break it down, look at who said what happened, all the various things that have been said and how they all pan out. First, though, have to tell you this. The first episode of our Women's Health podcast, Scrubbed In, is out, it's published. The link is at the end. The link is below as well. Go check it out. We're talking about painful periods and endometriosis. Men, you need to watch too. So no one woman them have to deal with. Share the link with men, with women, with young men, with young women, because this is information everybody needs to know, all right? That's my shameless plug of the day. Back to today's subject. So,
here's how crowdfunder is changing how music is produced. It used to be the case that music executives like
all hell broke loose when the Gleaner published this story, big story, by Kimon Francis, 2025 Journalist of the Year, and this was Tuesday, June 16, 2026, all right? The headline said, Deportee Deal, Jamaica offers to accept non-nationals being booted from the US. And Jamaicans went, wanna just say? So let me read the first two paragraphs. Kingston and Washington are expected to begin talks on an agreement first pitched by a senior Jamaican government official that could see the island accepting up to 10,000 non-Jamaicans being deported from the United States. A document from the United States Embassy in Kingston, seen by the Gleaner, outlines the operational framework for the proposed third country nationals TCN agreement, which has triggered controversy in several countries that have entered into similar arrangements with Washington. So the National Security Minister in response sent out a statement that said in part, it's important to address recent public reporting which referenced a figure of 10,000 individuals. That number does not represent an agreed quota or commitment under this MOU. The process will be controlled and phased. While the understanding contemplates transfers of up to 25 individuals every 2 weeks, this is subject to an important operational safeguard. Where the number of individuals pending transfer or remaining in Jamaica exceeds a threshold of 10, the process will be paused until conditions are reviewed and normalized. This is to ensure there's no more than 10 TCNs remaining in Jamaica in any 30-day window. Then Wednesday morning, June 17, was post-cabinet press conference, and we got this.
Jamaica is not receiving any deportees from the United States, except Jamaicans. May I repeat that? We have no agreement, no understanding to accept deportees from the United States. We accept every month 100 Jamaican deportees. And we have the expertise and the staff to manage their entry into Jamaica. That arrangement was negotiated by professionals so that they can come in in a structured, organized manner and be resettled in Jamaica, their homeland. The cost of that is all Jamaican. We are receiving, and we have no agreement to or understanding, the MOUs, to receive convicts from the United States. On this, of course, and the Jamaicans are deported, which we have agreements, because America is our primary ally and primary partner in trade and in security. And we do have deportees from Jamaica to the United States from time to time, or we have occasionally from the United States convicts. But we have no agreement, no understanding, and there are no discussions to accept convicts from the United States. In fact, anyone coming from the United States is reviewed by the NIB before I indicate that they can land in the country.
Not receiving any deportees except Jamaicans. No agreement, no understanding to receive convicts. Now, there seems to be some attempt now to make a distinction between these third country nationals and deportees. And I'm going to say this. This is a distinction without a difference. Government is playing in our face. The US government wants these people out, and they must ship them out. And I ask you, is
not playing in our face, deliberately lying to us. That's not playing in our face. That's deliberately lying to us, standing at the press conference podium and lying to the people. All of what Dr. Chang said was a lie. It's not playing in our face. It's not that even Dr. Chang is giving us half truth. He's deliberately lying. Call it for what it is.
Is that not what you understand a deportee to be? But then, the Gleaner used the word deportee, and we're trying to discredit the Gleaner, so sure, make we say these are not deportees. Now, at this point, bear in mind, the government knew that the US had initially taken the position that Jamaica was proposing to take up to 10,000 third country nationals. To come to the press conference and act like said Gleaner just make up this figure of 10,000 out of thin air, that was poor.
Well, if somebody talked to them on the street, I don't know about that.
Not poor, Dean Jacks Miller. Wicked and lie. Wicked and lie, not poor. Just Christ, if you people could just say it.
I am responsible, and the minister, all communication that goes to the government of the United States, I've personally in the case said to the diplomats, it goes to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They come from my office. Any communication with the United States government on immigration goes through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade.
Okay.
And no such communication or information has gone through.
So, first of all, this laughing as if we're at some comedy show, right? This is a press conference. Government always does this. Fills up the room with all kind of civil servants who should be at their desk doing government work where we pay them to do, instead of being there like the penny gallery there to laugh and clap. Sure, foolishness. Then now, listen to what's being said. Remember, this is before the story came out where Gleaner quoted from the diplomatic note. Not just that there has been no agreement to take 10,000, but that no such communication or information has gone through. Now, we know that's demonstrably not so, thanks to the Gleaner story.
That's what irritates me, Dean Jacks Miller. Demonstrably not so. Demonstrably lie. Lie. Call it for what it is. What does demonstrably not so means, Miss Miller? Miss Jacks Miller, what does demonstrably not so means? Because I'm back at the class here, probably even fall asleep or drunk on some mad post piss. What does demonstrably not so mean? Break it down dictionary if you will, make we understand what the dictionary said demonstrably not so be. You see all these professional corporate talking to soothe over people ego, or for people say you have manners. Me not subscribe to the manners world. Me never go shop with manners yet. Me never go on plane with manners yet. Demonstrably not so. So we have moved up now. In the corporate world, you cannot say lie. You have to say untruth. So we have moved from untruth now to demonstrably not so. Where you get there something here from, lady? You even if you stop the Christian knitting, stop the Christian knitting. Or the Christian one and knit at the basket on a plot.
To a diplomatic note, which I think we all can agree would constitute communication.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Okay. DPM, can I just add one thing? Cabinet decisions, there's no such cabinet decision on record.
That
no
too.
such cabinet decision. And I've gone through all the cabinet decisions.
Cabinet come through me to Foreign Affairs. But again, I didn't get that far. It's just that we have had no such communication.
Again, it wasn't a decision. I asked about communication.
So this is called digging the hole a little deeper.
Why transit through Jamaica and not directly back to their country or their destination country?
No, that's a technical issue which have been discussed, and it is, as I said, several countries. And while Jamaica is one of an American island in the Caribbean, and we work that through. It's the way it goes. I think the philosophy behind it, and I can say that is why, is that if they stay in the United States, they have an opportunity to apply to stay. So the people are coming, and they're coming literally from being apprehended at the border and sent to Jamaica after some routine checks are done. They don't intend to stay in Jamaica, so the United States pay their airfare and they go.
So we don't know if they're criminal or not. The US cannot tell us whether they're criminal or not. If you just catch them about it. If we are to follow what you're saying, if the US will just catch them at the border and send them Congi, so we don't know what we're getting. Is it not? Hey, Jesus, see me see trouble.
Back home. The return rate so far has been about 94%.
This is why Emily Shields was this annoyed and angry, because nobody at the press conference who listened it to and watched it after, nobody understood what Dr. Chang was saying. Dr. Chang himself have no clue. You see, when you're caught telling lies, when you're caught telling lies and haven't got time to prepare yourself,
If you have opted to stay, there are a couple of Jamaicans in other countries who are not coming back to Jamaica. They were deported by the United States.
Can I pause here just for a moment to point out that the minister just spoke about people being deported from the United States? So if people are being deported, we can't call them deportees.
There is no discussion, review, or understand to accept 10,000 illegal immigrants from the United States. Again, the only illegal immigrants we take from the United States are the Jamaicans who are there.
Sir, whoever not take from the United States are illegal immigrants or asylum seekers, one of the same. Because they don't have status in the United States. That's why the United States have removed them. This is hugely embarrassing for Jamaica, just to be listening that this is our immigration minister. This is our minister of policing. This is our minister of national security. This is our minister of border protection. The only thing this government can do are deportations, Barbecue. You don't know not where you can check Andrew Holness with. Because for the 28 Haitians will land at Portland, the government has sent them back without due process, while we're following due process for pedophiles, rapists, and murderers. Barbecue. You don't know not what you can use against them. Can look like if you can't check Andrew and Chang, you can't get them fall in a line.
And those conditions are negotiated by professionals from the Ministry of National Security and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
And here again, the argument over this figure of 10,000. So again, at this point, the government knew the number 10,000 had been mentioned. They knew it had been mentioned in an official document. They knew at this point that the US had taken the position at one stage that Jamaica was proposing to take up to 10,000 third-party nationals. So later on, the government is going to tell us that they had to clarify that with the US, right? And I'm going to come to that. And also this argument that what sounds like two very, very different programs were somehow conflated. Conflated? How? My point, though, is right here, why does not acknowledge what had happened? Say, yes, that figure had been mentioned, but it was wrong, and this is where we are now.
People keep asking, how do we actually get an AI agent on our team? Well, it's easy. Watch how I do it in 60 seconds on Monday.
Very embarrassing for Jamaica.
We have signed, after extensive negotiation by the relevant professionals, again, mainly from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of National Security, Office of the Prime Minister, and of course, the lawyers from the Attorney General's office. An agreement to transition to Jamaica some third country nationals from the United States. The number is 25. It's an understanding, and at no time will the number exceed 25 because we have the right to refuse anyone at any time. And both parties can terminate the entire agreement without any long-term notice. The process is basically the operational procedure is still being worked out and then being negotiated by the professionals, and it will be some time before we see anyone landing here. But when they do, they will come on the basis of an understanding that the government of the United States will pay the initial stay in Jamaica.
Let me tell you this, Dr. Chang. An understanding have no legal basis to it. An understanding is quite similar to a gentleman's handshake. Such a high-level fuckery ought to have a legal basis for it. This has no legal basis. This is tantamount to a gentleman's handshake. That's what memorandum of understanding is, a gentleman's handshake. It's nothing binding in law. It's nothing that have any legal basis to it.
They'll be accommodated by the International Organization for Migrants, United Nations body, with which we are working. And of course, the Ministry of National Security will deal with the technical legal side.
Okay, so we're now told that the agreement has been signed.
There'll be nobody detained. Nobody with detention.
Now it's been signed, given that when he started the conversation, no go so we don't know about, we don't know not talk about, there's no agreement, there's no memo, there's no random, there's no condom.
As part of an international understanding, not a bilateral agreement. The activity to transition them to Jamaica is a bilateral agreement negotiated between two governments who are allies in many areas, and in economy, security, and otherwise. Those are the facts as they are. We are among the about number 7 to agree in the Caribbean Latin American region.
Look at the journalists
our technical team sat down, negotiate all aspects of the issue. We are a small country. The staff to deal with the immigration section, that aspect, are limited. And therefore, they have to go to the logistics of it. As I said, we already received just under 100 legal immigrants. They are Jamaicans, but they still have to go through a process. We already agreements were made between the United States government in Panama, Costa Rica, Belize, Antigua, St. Kitts, and Barbados. And they're discussing with other teams, which they expect to conclude in due.
What does whatever Trump is doing with other countries run one list? What does that have to do with us? How we getting at it?
Of course. We have concluded ours, but we don't expect any visitors until, I said, we set off on the operational details, which are not yet settled. And that's a matter that professionals will negotiate and settle that we can handle them.
All right, so they're not going to be detained, which means they're free to move up and down throughout Jamaica. Free to stay as well.
Morning, everyone. Mahiri Stewart, Nationwide News here. Question for Dr. Chang. On who initiated the MOU and when was it signed?
No, MOU between countries are not a matter of initiating that. The Americans have which is the country there.
Dr. Chang, somebody has to initiate a conversation. A conversation start by left, right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Somebody start the conversation. It cannot be that a conversation is had and nobody don't start. So we can book up in a conversation now? Like seriously, sir? As a country, we can book up in a conversation and we just tick ourselves in the middle of it, just so?
Immigrants have an issue that they are trying to settle, and we are one of their allies in the Caribbean, and we had discussion, we initiated. We had discussion which had been prolonged, and we came to an agreement.
The agreement was when?
A few days back, I signed it. I think today is Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday of last week.
So remember, Mahiri, that the U.S. government has these agreements with several other countries. So this is something initiated, an initiative.
Besides,
Dirty old man beard head. Dirty old man beard head hitch on pan logwood tree. That is wholly irrelevant. Whatever deal the government may have with other countries, we're talking about Jamaica, you idiot. You political harlot. You Jezebel. And every minute you jump in to protect the rapist and the murderer and the scammer. What is wrong with you, woman? Why you don't go wash your hair? Provoke me this morning. Provoke me this morning.
Besides the Minister, the Americans are our primary trading partner, primary security partner. We have bilateral relations in the United States and what we call the ABC countries are very established. And discussions continue between the governments. We are, of course, the smaller partners, a fact of life. We're small, but discussions, bilateral discussions take place between governments that close on an ongoing basis. This is one in which they would have taken the lead because it's their problem, and one in which we can have some assistance.
So we went from it's not a matter of initiating to this was one in which the US took the lead in the same sentence, and I don't know what to make of that one.
Obviously, we're having this discussion now due to the fact that this information was leaked. But had it not been, when would we have...
The information leaked is different from what I'm talking about. And that's what the problem we are conflating two things. Some information suggesting that we were in the process of negotiating the reception of 10,000 illegal immigrants. There is no such discussion, and that we cannot do it this morning. It became part of a discussion because it is known that we were discussing the third country nationals through Jamaica, because there are several other countries in the Caribbean. We signed on Wednesday and we decided we'd make a statement on it, and I reserved that statement for the diaspora event in Montego Bay yesterday, and we would have sent the press release out.
Kiss me goodnight, Sergeant Major. Wrap me in your little wooden bed. Don't forget to wake me in the morning and bring me round tonight a cup of tea. We all love you, Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major, be a mother to me. Go on, Dr. Chang. Go on with more fuckery. Cause this year fuckery pan steroid. Huh? Who inject the doctor with steroid? Dr. Sergeant Major, who inject you with steroid this morning, sir? No, God Almighty. The man go east, west, north, south. We're still confused. No matter where you take this, Dr. Chang, Any angle you twist with it, a confusion we hear. Confusion and convolution.
Look, it leaked. You never tell me, and it leaked. Full stop, end of story.
Morning, Kimon Francis from the Gleaner. Just to clarify, the Gleaner at no point reported that 10,000 TCN illegal immigrants were coming to Jamaica.
No. Not TCN,
at no point.
deportees.
At no point. Question.
No, don't confuse you, you know. 10,000 deportees is different from 10,000 TCNs.
They're not. They're not. Third country nationals are deportees. DEPORTEs. That's what they are. The third country national, Dr. Chang, meaning they are sent from the host country, which is the United States, to another country which is not of their origin, meaning Jamaica. However, Dr. Chang, they are still DOPERTEs, deportees. Third country national and deportees are one of the same. It's just that they're not being deported to their country of origin, Dr. Chang. However, they are still deportees, you stupid fucker.
Deportees, they are not being detained, they are doing transition to Jamaica, and they have to put in a comfortable place to stay.
The MOU we were privy to that came from the...
And they are going to be put in a comfortable place to stay. Note the word, comfortable.
US's embassy classified them as deportees.
Now, the document I saw also, the same document that was speaking about third country nationals, also used the word deportees. So again, trying to...
Yes, the third country national, as I explained it, just mean they are deported to a country not of their origin. That's all TCN means. But TCNs are still deportees. Deported to a third country. That's all it means. God Almighty this morning. Boy, look upon our country. I mean, we're on the world stage, you know. The world is watching.
To share the Gleaner like this is not the flex you think it is.
Question, just seeking clarity. Did the U.S. initiate contact with Jamaica regarding the TCN arrangement? Or did a senior government official first communicate that Jamaica is amenable to such an agreement?
No, TCN is an American request. They have done so with several allies across the region and throughout the world.
We're talking about Jamaica, however, we're talking about Jamaica. And keep raising other countries in the region, other countries around the world. All of them are what Donald Trump referred to as shithole countries. However, Dr. Chang, Dana Morris Dixon, we're talking about Jamaica. That's what we are talking about.
So it's their challenge that they're trying to resolve in a human way.
So we never suggested it. That
no, we couldn't suggest that. We don't have a problem. That's why we suggest. Okay. I mean, we don't have a problem. On this occasion, they are a friend and they're seeking our assistance to resolve the problem.
And if a friend said to you, say, I've just stolen half a dozen chicken from Miss Matty's full cook, but carry this bag for me, because if the police comes along, they will see that I'm carrying the bag with the chicken from Miss Matty's full cook. You go carry the bag and know, say, handling stolen goods is also a crime, just like stealing Miss Matty's half a dozen chicken. Dr. Chang, is that what Dr. Chang is saying to us? I'm willing to carry the stolen bag for Andrew because even though I know it's a crime, my friend who is in a little predicament has asked me to carry the stolen bag. Is that what you're saying, Dr. Chang? No, sir. Lord Jesus. Boy, they fool and foolera.
Did the U.S. at any time communicate that the arrangement could see Jamaica receiving up to 10,000 country nationals.
No, there's no such discussion between the governments of Jamaica.
Through no communication at all.
No.
So you're saying, Dr. Chang, that the U.S. State Department is lying? The diplomatic communication is a made-up between Gleaner and the U.S. State Department? Careful, you know, Dr. Chang. As Emily Shields told this administration, oh no, watch on yourself. Man, they come pick them up in an orange jumpsuit. Careful. Remember them after your long time. Isn't it the reason, Dr. Chang, why you and the government is end up backed into a corner because of possible indictments being unsealed against you lot? Just checking.
Okay.
When that happens, the numbers in the next shipment drop by that number. So if all 25 decide to stay, so there'll be no crowding on Flag of Jamaica. If all 25 decide to stay, we stop the program immediately. And that's in the document. I don't know if you saw that part of it.
So the rudeness of the report at this point is almost palpable. Now, the document said that the US and Jamaica were going to coordinate public messaging in relation to the MOU in advance. In other words, the two of them were going to decide what they were going to tell us. But because the Gleaner mash up that dolly house, right, and they're on the defensive, all we're getting now is rudeness and attempts to discredit, instead of just coming clean from the beginning and telling us what was what. So the day after the press conference and Parliament, because the minister spoke in Parliament, couldn't do that in a separate video, on Thursday, June 18, the Gleaner now publishes another story quoting from the diplomatic note that they got the information from. And it said a diplomatic note from the US Embassy has stated that a cabinet minister proposed a controversial deal to Washington that would have had Jamaica receive up to 10,000 third country nationals. The note sent to the Jamaican government said former ambassador to the US and minister without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister, Audrey Marks, made the proposal. So government had to come with an explanation after that. And this is when we started to hear about these two programs that were, word of the day, being conflated. So in my next video, I'll look at how the government responded to that. Also talk about what happened in Parliament, because the Minister of National Security also spoke in Parliament, want to take a look at what happened there as well. Then, of course, the questions that still remain, not to mention the Prime Minister saying people's concerns are almost ridiculous. Still have a whole heap to say, but I'm going to leave it there for today, all right?
Kiss me goodnight, Sergeant Major. This is a Sergeant Major moment, you know. This is a Sergeant Major moment for our country. Because those who are fleeing persecution, as in our Haitian brothers and sisters, are being sent back to their death. While we are muscling up to rent big house to give murderers and pedophiles a decent living. Dr. Chang came out pushing back on the news broadcast that we see that big house up at St. Mary. He come out and release a statement, say no go so. Dr. Chang, when have you ever spoken the truth? Dr. Chang, you were import containers of AK-47s into our country. You, Dr. Chang, who have disbursed 200 AK-47s in Flankers, Montego Bay in 2021, November. You, Dr. Chang, who stood in press conference a week ago and lied to the nation. You, Dr. Chang, who stood at the dispatch box last Wednesday and lied to the nation. You think your ink and dry ink on white paper, make a blind fucker difference to us? Dr. Chang, you're a criminal. Dr. Chang, you're a murderer. Dr. Chang, you are a gangster. Dr. Chang, you are a liar. What can you say to convince us, Dr. Chang, when you distribute guns? Dr. Chang, when you put guns into young men's hands, when you remove bullets from young men in your surgery without reporting it to the police as Minister of Police. I mean, what does a piece of paper with dry ink does? Man, move ya. Move and go on. Junkro, thief, scammer, criminal, murderer, illegal gun smuggler, Minister of Security, Dr. Horace Chang. Thank you very much for being here with us this morning. The heat has turned itself down a bit, but nevertheless, still warm enough. We're down from 38, 35 now to 25. Still good enough to be out and about. O'Neill Dennis, morning and welcome. But, Patricia Matthews, how you do? You not hungry? Why you don't want me one to raise my blood pressure? But then again, licky Jamaica people, hungry belly Jamaica people will sell on yourself for donut, ice cream, 2-piece and chips, or even noodle and pizza. Let's see if we're not going to come out Tuesday. Let's see if we're not going to come out Tuesday morning. Come make Andrew say, the nation is absolutely fed up. But if we want to get rid of Andrew Holness, we have to do it as a nation. Just our voices alone won't just work. There have to be positive actions to get rid of Andrew Holness. We should have never re-elected Andrew Holness last September 3rd. We made not a dangerous, but a deadly mistake. And we are paying an awfully high price for that deadly mistake we made on September 3rd. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
Only a look at Jesus. Oh, so bow down with care.
you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.